The Dubuque Area Arts Collective presents Ruix Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ruix Podcast once again. I, of course, am Jon Eagle, and you're listening to episode number 16. Today's a hip-hop show in that I am going to talk to two very talented MCs. First of all, Coolzey from, he lives in LA now, but he's an Iowa City guy, Midwestern guy, born and bred, and I've known him for quite a few years, so it'll be good to see him. Also, he's on tour with Copywrite right now from Columbus, Ohio, who's also an amazing MC, one of my favorites, and I'm stoked to talk to both of them. So this should be a good show. But first of all, I want to take care of some DAAC related shit first. I would like to thank everyone for coming out to the first readings out into the influence too. That was obviously a good time had by all, and it was nice to see everybody, turn up for something that, we haven't done in quite a long time. Well, I shouldn't say we, because I wasn't involved in the first go-round, but, it was fun to get involved in something like that. So, once again, thank you. December 29th is the Music Series 10 show down here in the Ruix space, and that's going to feature Tyranny is Tyranny from Madison, Wisconsin, which hopefully we'll be able to get them in here early and, do a Ruix podcast episode with them because they're a great band and always fun to talk to. And then as far as other events, we do have one more In Harmony live performance to do for the year, and that one's going to be with Venereal Crush. And then they're going to have Victor Cairo painting in the background while they play. Victor Cairo, you might remember from the first episode of this show. And my conversation with him then. That should be a good time. And that's actually going to sort of kick off a little, like week-long-ish tour for Venereal Crush. They're going to, do some dates and that, so if you're in any of the area, keep your eye on their page and, you'll see, their tour dates and maybe you can make it out to one. But once again, today I'm going to talk to Coolzey and Copywrite. Two very talented MCs, like I said, and I'd like to say friends of mine, but only Coolzey's friends of mine. I haven't actually met Copywrite yet, so let's go check in with them now and see how they're doing.
Taken jazz acid before? It's like jazz acid.
Acid jazz.
It basically just sounds like it's basically just basically sounds like the Ornette Coleman Quartet is doing some they took some acid and it is inside your head.
Mm-hmm. That should have been on the podcast. That is correct.
Are we rolling yet? Oh, we actually are already rolling. So.
Oh, sweet. So you dosed us with E, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I thought that was understood.
Oh,
that's what you wanted, right?
Okay. I will roll with it, pun intended. I'll just roll with it.
Whole puncast.
Oh yeah, puncast.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of pun. Good evening, and welcome to Easy's Playhouse. Should we not cuss on this?
No, you can cuss.
Okay, cool. Then, you stupid motherfuckers.
Straight up shitted on the consumer.
Just kidding, you're not stupid. That was from
Now that
Easy.
you have the album, what are you gonna do with it? What do you think I'm gonna do with it? Microwave it.
We'll keep some of this shit at the beginning. Outtakes.
Do whatever you like, man.
Dellarino. Are we rolling?
Actually, I want to have.
I think we are.
I want to have
Yeah,
final
but
approval.
I mean, no hurry. Whatever.
Yeah, I want this to be sent to me for final approval.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Send it to my manager. He's a big wig. He's got a lot of clout. You seen Bowfinger?
Bowfinger?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You've
that's
never
great.
fucking
Flick.
seen.
That movie is so hilarious.
Dog, it's amazing. You've never seen fucking Bowfinger.
What is it?
It's Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin. The last thing they did that was worth a shit.
Oh,
The last
I
thing
missed
they did.
it.
You
Yeah,
saw
I missed it.
Bowfinger?
That was great. Yeah.
Dog, it's fucking
I
incredible.
love both those dudes.
It's fucking amazing. They're trying to
too.
make a movie on no budget, so they're running around filming the actor just guerrilla style. He doesn't know it.
Oh,
You gotta see it. It's
Oh.
Eddie Murphy is the actor they're following and shit, and Steve Martin is the
that's awesome. I want to see it.
two-bit movie writer producer.
I've been wanting to watch Vampire in Brooklyn though. I gotta.
Oh man, that's a good one too.
He's like, I'm really a big time producer with clout.
You want to guide us?
Let's jump in. Well,
All
first
right.
of all, fellas, thanks for coming down and doing it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, fuck yeah. How's the tour going so far? You're like, what, 3-4 days in? Something like that?
This is our third day.
Yeah, third day.
Third day.
It's
Oh,
good.
okay.
It's going great.
Any, I mean, it's pretty early yet, but any, high points yet?
High points.
Let's see. I mean, it's only their third day. We've only done 2 shows, but Oshkosh was definitely the best
Yeah.
show so far.
So, okay.
It was like real fun. The Reptile Palace in Oshkosh is a place I played like. Okay, Dubuque is the first place I ever played outside Iowa City. It's like the first coffee shop show I played here that Aaron brought us to as our crew, the Sucker MCs back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
But besides that, Wisconsin is probably the most played state that I've done. I've played this particular place, Reptile Palace, Oshkosh, like 5, 6, 7 times, and it's like feels like home there, So everybody is just super into it,
Yeah.
Been building a fan base there and stuff, and it's like it feels like family there,
Cool.
So yeah, last night was definitely my high point so far. How about you, Pete?
My high point was being able to smoke weed because I don't have to see my probation officer for 2 weeks.
Well, that's
So
good news.
That's punny, right? That's my high point.
Yep. And now it's over.
Yeah, so I know life sucks again.
So basically, the rest of the tour is gonna.
How do you work around that? Like, did you have to tell them I'm going on the road? Like,
Yeah, they
so
know.
I'm not going to see you.
They know what I do. They let me go on tour before.
Okay, cool.
And they're cool with it as long as I don't fuck up, which I haven't yet. Knock on something. But I used to have to wear an alcohol monitor around my ankle,
No shit.
and it would just monitor my sweat and shit. So I had to go on tour with one time with that, and that shit was crazy as fuck. Because I was
Okay.
on tour with a chronic alcoholic. But they're pretty cool about it, man.
Yeah. So you don't drink at all anymore?
I drink. I try to manage it. You know what I mean? But then sometimes trying to manage it, the shit gets a little sloppy. Then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I can't do this. That's why I have 5 DUIs and
For sure,
and,
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
tough.
kind of a reminder, like, oh yeah, that's right. I can't just because I did it for a little while. Like sometimes you could keep the shit together, but then
Yeah.
it's a conscious decision though, because my natural thing is I want to go drink and drink.
You want to party?
Yeah,
For sure.
If I'm doing it, I want to do it.
Not me. I just want to put the tip in. That's my whole thing.
I party.
NES, what about
That's
you?
called partying to me. Is just
NES
the tip.
Wordz.
Oh, NES Wordz. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. Yeah, Oshkosh was great.
Oshkosh?
I liked Oshkosh.
Seems pretty unanimous.
Davenport was cool too. Like it was, I think Davenport was mostly, it was more of a highlight because I've never actually been to Iowa at all ever. Like I've drove through here, but I've never stopped in any city ever.
Davenport
Iowa.
has come quite a long ways. Well, the Quad Cities in general, I think. I mean, they got a
Yeah,
decent
but
scene.
I
now.
hear Dubuque is like more of like a music town.
I hope so. I mean, I hope
more-
we prove to be like
It's more about
Last show
Is this
here was
both your first time in Dubuque? Well, your first time in Iowa, your first time in
I
Dubuque?
think it is my first time in Dubuque. What makes it so bad is the time I was in Iowa before. I don't remember where I was at, and I'm bad like that.
You were in Cedar Rapids.
Well, I remember. Yeah,
over there was
a
few years ago, you played-
Word,
because you
okay.
called me.
Yeah, okay.
Or you texted me. Yeah.
a few years ago, you played Gabe's though, like Iowa City. I remember because I couldn't go, but my boy Roy over there went.
Where's Gabe's at?
Iowa City.
I've been to Iowa City.
Okay. And you playing Iowa City tomorrow, or are you playing it on this tour at all?
Yep. Iowa City tomorrow. The next day.
When's the last time you were back?
To Iowa City when it was the same tour that we came back here last
With Schaefer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul
So,
Schaefer?
First of all, I would like to
Schaefer the Dark
Lord.
No, not true.
I would like to apologize for that night because when I ran into you, I was fucking hammered. Like, I remember seeing you, but like,
well, it was such a crazy night. There was like there were so many
yeah.
people that I don't really. I mean, all my interactions with people were just touch and go, So it didn't even register to me that you were hammered,
that's good because I was like, embarrassingly so, or at least that's what you think when you don't remember anything the next day. So I'm like,
Yeah.
shit.
I definitely get
get
embarrassed about
What
that.
dumb shit did I do or say?
Exactly right. So it was one of those nights, but I was glad to see both of you. When did you actually move to LA? Like you've been gone a while now.
2010, September, October 2010.
Okay.
But then I was back and forth a lot between 2012 and then, it was kind of like 6 months here, 6 months there, 3 months here, 3 months there type of thing. Because I still own a house down in Fairfield, Iowa. But then in 2012, I kind of been there pretty like most of the time since 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay, cool.
but I also lived there briefly in 2003. Boring, but whatever.
In Fairfield?
Facts. I'm just trying to get you all the facts. No, in LA.
in LA.
First time I moved to LA was in 2003,
Okay.
but only just for like 6-7 months. I moved out there. I don't want to go into the details about it because it brings up a bad old
He was
relationship.
doing gay porn.
Yeah.
And the money fizzled out. The career fizzled out. He got
Basically,
on
just
crack.
Okay. Yeah.
don't combine your Google search words of Coolzey with gay porn, and everything
You'll
should
be fine.
good.
Yeah.
Be kosher.
Yeah.
You'll
Keep
be-
that in
you'll
mind.
still be
Don't do
fine.
that.
Don't do that.
All right. Well, so the tour's been going good. What do you got coming up on the tour? Like, are you looking forward to any venues in particular, or any of you?
I would really want to do Food Bar, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear there's a restaurant right across the street that makes like this fucking like dill pickle soup that's like to die for.
That sounds amazing.
Like
dude.
I'm really like
Jinx.
I'm kind of like waiting to go there, not just to play it, but so that way I can get that fucking dill pickle soup.
So basically, the highlight
The
for
whole
him was
tour.
weed. The highlight for him is dill pickle soup.
Oh, and Taco John's.
And Taco
I've been
John's.
fucking
He's been
screaming
really
about
looking
going
forward to
to
Taco
fucking
John's.
Oh, there's two of them in this town.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
One
I
right
see
next
that
to the
it's
venue,
one, like,
right?
right next to the lift. So I'm gonna
or like a
walk
block or
on
two from
over
the
there.
lift?
It's like a couple blocks.
Yeah, taco? No. I don't think so.
thought
No,
so.
it's a ways off.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well we're gonna find one,
Yeah, there's
and that's what
they're
I'm
not
gonna.
that far.
That's the reason he came on this tour.
Yeah.
Was Taco John's?
And
Yeah,
dill pickle
the only
soup.
reason I came on this tour was to get fucking Taco John's
And the dill pickle soup.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
blame you. Fuck
Yeah.
Taco Bell, man. Like,
and to
Taco
meet
John's is where it's
pretty
at.
blonde-haired girls and stuff.
Well, hopefully we deliver on both of them.
I was actually looking forward to Dubuque again because it was such a fun show last time.
Yeah, that was a fun show. What I
yeah.
remember of it.
I'm also looking forward to play. I like playing places I've never played before.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, Davenport was the first time I've ever played there.
Oh, yeah?
Also, like Evansville, Indiana, and like Covington, Kentucky, both places I've never played. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. But I always loved playing Iowa,
Yeah.
And we're playing Des Moines Social Club, which is a place I've never played before in Iowa, and I'm looking forward to.
I'm
that.
looking forward to Des Moines. Period.
Yeah, Des Moines great. Man.
Yeah, it's really fun these days.
It's
dude,
another-
we should go to Zombie Burger while we're there.
You totally
Yeah,
should.
Shit.
Or Fong's Pizza.
Or
I
Fong's
just really
Pizza.
want,
fucking
I
rad,
really
too.
just want to get a haircut while I'm there.
All right,
In
we're
Des
doing
Moines?
it.
Yeah, if somebody could just
Because I know Des Moines like the back of my hand.
just take me
so
to the neighborhood.
I'll take
to a
you around.
barber shop so I can
take you around.
Get me a fucking lineup and look decent. Yeah, get my wig chopped up.
We can
Well, how'd
do
this
that.
tour come about? Tell me a little bit about that. How did because I've known you for quite a few years, and I've never met you guys, but definitely a fan of yours.
Thank you, man.
How'd you guys end up meeting?
How the fuck do you know what I was trying to remember earlier? How
We've
we
known
met.
each other for a long time.
How did we meet though?
It was probably through Prism.
Was I out in LA and shit? Like, was I there and then you were like, let's get up, I'm Prism's boy, or were you in Columbus?
I think that I was in Sacramento actually visiting Prism. So we have a mutual friend named DJ Prism who passed away in 2007 from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And where Pete's from. And we I think that we met through Prism somehow,
Yeah, yeah.
or just online probably too. I think I probably just emailed you at some point or found you on MySpace or some shit at one point,
That may have been it, man.
Yeah.
But when did we first? So anyway.
But
we're
as
getting
far as the
sidetracked.
tour goes, it was just basically we've been trying to do a tour together for a few years now,
Okay.
and we've been working on projects and shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we had a tour book last year called The Origins of AWI,
Okay.
and that's AWI is actually our punk rock group that we're working on, all three of us. NES Wordz.
Really?
Yeah,
Cool.
and we're actually recording at Flat Black Studios on Monday with Luke Ferguson from Lipstick Homicide.
Awesome.
So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, and actually, Ness, I put on a Lipstick Homicide song. This is an Iowa podcast, by the way, guys. So Iowa references.
Okay.
Yeah,
But Ness, I put on Lipstick Homicide, and we were driving, and all of a sudden he just started flipping
Jumped
out in
the
the
fuck
back
up,
seat.
yeah.
He's like, Lipstick Homicide? I'm like, yeah, he's actually going to be playing drums with us.
Yeah,
and he just started flipping.
I'm a bit of a punk enthusiast.
Awesome.
I like punk rock.
Yeah. Who are your bands?
I mean,
Lipstick Homicide's great, obviously. But.
yeah, I like some of the commercial stuff too. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I know like the punk community's real big on like the underground shit. I like a lot of hometown stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Who are like
bands.
Columbus hometown punk rock
Shit,
bands?
man.
You got like Steamboat. They're really good.
Do you guys know the Bicentennial Bear guys?
Nah, it
I
sounds
played a
familiar.
show in Columbus, like my old band.
Where'd you
mine
play?
And Matt, and it
Probably
was at the
Carabar.
What was it?
Carabar.
That doesn't sound
Double
familiar.
Happiness.
Matt, do you remember the name of the?
Where
I
was
don't
it? What
remember
did it
the
look
place.
like, or any of that?
You walk in. There's like a bunch of pictures on the wall. It's like It's like a split level bar.
Every fucking bar in the short north.
I think the stage was in the window, maybe on the other side.
I mean, it sounds like Double Happiness.
that might be right there on 4th and Chittenden, Oldfields.
Oldfields on the High. That was the
May have
first
been
place I
Oldfields.
ever
It might
played.
have been that. Yeah,
It
that
might be
sounds more
Oldfield.
familiar.
That was the first place I ever
That
played.
might be Oldfield because that's what it was. It like all right, you walk in, picture stage at the window,
Pool
two
table in
pool
the back.
tables, bar to your right.
Yeah,
they
that
were
sounds-
serving pizza and shit in there.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, he was.
That's
at
probably what it
Oldfields.
was.
He was at Oldfields. You were in the neighborhood.
Okay.
But
Times
before
we
down there by
Viking,
Ohio
man.
State, not far from Ohio.
Before
Okay,
our
cool.
listeners get too mad at us for going off on too far of a tangent before I finish, because I don't want them to think I'm crazy.
Oh yeah, no. Please. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, we had a tour book called Origins of AWI because we were getting really psyched. We were writing songs together and shit like that. And then, but Pete still had some legal issues to work through, and so I ended up subbing Pete out for Louis Logic last May 2014. That was supposed to be our first tour that we did.
All right.
And but then anyway, so we just eventually like cycled it back through, and as soon as things cleared up, and just got back on the road.
Fucking my PO wouldn't let me go because I had just gotten. Did I just get out of?
You had to go
CBCF?
you had to go, or you either had.
I didn't go to CBCF yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think, yeah. It was. I had. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. So, but like, and Ness is a good friend of mine as well as like one of my favorite new artists. I mean, he's new to everybody, but you know, he's been doing his thing for a minute. Obviously, you know, to get as good as he is, and I have a lot of friends in Columbus that do music and are really talented, but they don't do shit with it. Mm-hmm. And he's not like that. He's the opposite of that. So he's working hard for his shit and doing a bunch of shows and making moves on his own. You know, like getting flying around and shit to record and all this shit. Like so I wanted to take him. His live show was fucking crazy. Yeah, really incredible, high energy.
Lots of high energy.
Nice.
And I feel lucky, man, because I had no idea. I mean, it's always when you're blindly like accepting somebody else to go on tour, but Ness is phenomenal. And we've actually like we have a really good, well-rounded touring set with all three of us.
Yeah,
really.
It is. It's like it has a lot of energy. And it's like all three different type of energies, but they're all like really positive, and they're still like cohesive. You know what I mean? So it's a good time for real. Davenport was the break-in. I think we kind of chummed it up in the car. Yeah, all got really cool. Did a whole lot of talking. Got to know each other. Oh, I played a show with Coolzey back in 2012 at like the Summit in Columbus, like one time. Okay. He didn't really remember me from it. I remembered him. I remember listening to his album. I just kind of called Copy up. I was like, yo, so what's up with this thing you're going on? Like, can I roll? And he said, well, it's Coolzey putting it together. And I was like, well, can you please call him up and just ask him, can I roll? Yeah. And he was down with it. And here I am. I'm
glad, man.
History's being made
awesome.
now.
Yeah, and we've got a Southwest version of this tour that's about 3/4 of the way booked up right now. Like from Reno, Bay Area down south over to as far east as like El Paso, and kind of just in those four southwestern states like Southern California and Arizona and New Mexico. And we've already decided we got to bring Ness with us on that too, because it's coming. It's like. It's too good. It works too well.
Yeah, it's a really good time.
Yeah. And how about the rapport in the van or in the car? Like,
oh, it's cool.
It's awesome. Good, yeah. Like the vibes are.
Can I have one of these beers?
When I tell you, like,
yeah, absolutely.
When I tell you, like, it's all positive.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I can't believe I've laughed this much for real. Like,
it's really insane. Like it's like we became real good friends real fast.
And I knew they would hit it off because he's a good dude, and he's a good dude. They both are really good dudes, and no bullshit, no ego shit, real chill, good senses of humor, good music. Yeah. So everything's been cool, man.
And I'm learning a lot too.
Yeah.
You know,
Is this your first real tour? Or?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm kind of like paying attention to, you know, stuff that's going on, like how things work, you know, asking questions, hopefully the right questions, figuring things out.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to take this all in as a complete learning experience.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Extremely grateful for letting them come with, you know, for these guys letting me come with them. And I'm just glad that I added something to the whole thing, you know, because they already were coming with something phenomenal already. So for me to come along and see them do their thing and learn from vets, it's kind of, you know, it's a learning experience and a great opportunity at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and well, you're in good hands in this town too, because
Definitely.
you know this town's pretty welcoming for new somebody that hasn't played here before, I guess.
Well,
you know?
that's good.
And you know, you got Case the Joint, who you know you've played with many times.
Yeah, Mighty Casey.
He's awesome. And have you guys met him yet?
No.
Is that to do with the white girl song? Or am I tripping? The BET cut white
No,
girls.
that's a totally
Okay,
different
okay.
guy. Yeah.
You
Totally
may have
different.
had-
That song's
That's my
great
shit,
though. It's
yeah.
funny.
You may have met. He's part of the same crew of the dudes that brought you to Cedar Rapids. Like, and they're called Mike Hands.
Mike Hand, yeah.
And it's Imperfect. In case he's part of that
Okay,
crew.
I remember that show. I remember that venue and all that.
It was Ras. That was
I'm
on
looking
tour
at-
with Ras. Yeah.
I'll tell you
guys
what's
went to
been-
Cedar Rapids.
What's been interesting
word,
is
yeah.
like some of the
The first one. You
the
did
opening
Ras.
acts so far too.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting to like
A lot of
go to
locals.
other
Or?
states. Well, you know, particularly like out in the Midwest. I've been to like LA, I've been to Phoenix, you know, and kind of seen their scene, recorded music in like their big studios, Salt Mine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the most interesting part is going around and seeing how the culture lives in other towns and stuff, and like what people are really on. You can kind of tell. Kind of like the way they rap, what the town kind of is into. You know what I mean? It gives me
Okay.
kind of like a good feel because, you know, the guys in Oshkosh yesterday, like we were all outside, we were ciphering and shit, and it was great. You know, they were, you know, doing their stuff. But then I got to asking them like, "Oh, you guys probably grew up listening to this and this." It was like easy to pinpoint, so it was good to like work my set. And normally, like the one I did in Davenport was totally different to the one in Oshkosh.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, the one tonight will probably be totally different than all three. I brought roughly about 25 show versions of songs. So
Really?
We
Okay.
could just cycle it up, you know, just depending on what the mood is of the crowd that night, you know. I know how to get you into it, so.
Cool. Right on. What about you guys? Are you playing like? Have you been playing like a lot of old shit? You know, new shit, kind of a mix.
I mix it up, man. I like to do I like to do old shit for the people that, you know,
Yeah.
been listening that long, because I hate when I go to a show and they're doing all new shit.
Yeah.
No matter how good it is, I want to
I know. I'm the same way. Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
it's like, dude, I never get to see you. I want to see you do all these old fucking songs and all the shit that I've sung in the mirror to myself, you know?
Yeah.
So I try to do a bunch of shit, but then like I'm hyped on the new shit, you know? So I've got a lot of new shit as well. You know, it gets fucking boring. Like you're trying to spice up these old ass songs you've been doing for like 15 years and shit,
Yeah, for sure.
trying to freak them different. So it's just a mixture of shit.
But Pete's also, you know, always doing something brand new because he's a phenomenal freestyler. You know,
Yeah.
like that's kind of, to me, like the keystone of his set is that he's like a really engaging, thought-provoking, phenomenal freestyler and entertaining too. Like he oscillates between being super like funny and entertaining and you know, witty with the battle rap stuff to being thought-provoking. You know, like, and so I think that's one of the things why we're such a well-rounded set is like NES is like kind of newer sounding, super hype party shit, but it's like it's not like dumb like a lot of the stuff out there. You know, that to me,
Party.
It
No,
is
I just-
modern though.
No,
like,
But
I
it's
just,
the-
I know what you mean though, like the vibe.
yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, but it's more modern. It feels like than the music like maybe I do. You know, I'm kind of like old school rock and hip hop. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
And so my stuff is more theatrical, as you know. I like jump all around genre wise.
that's really what I like about his set. It's
And,
like it's very it's theatrical.
It's not always just hip hop.
Dude,
You got a lot of rock songs and
He
stuff.
fucks
too.
the crowd's head up with certain shit he does. Like
Yeah.
he sings, what is it? I get a kick out of you.
Oh yeah, I was Yeah, I've been doing the new. You know, I do a different Sinatra song pretty much every time.
Yes.
I tour this tour I've been doing. I get a kick out of.
One of my
I'm
favorite
sorry, no.
Sinatra
I've been.
songs
I
for
wish I
a
was doing that one actually.
Oh, you're not doing that.
I'm doing I Got You Under My Skin, but I am working
that's
on.
a great one though too.
I am working on I Get a Kick Out of You. That's actually on my list. It's
awesome.
coming
The
up.
crowd is just fucking baffled, man. They and
Yeah.
even when I first saw him do it, I thought like some drums were gonna kick in, or he was gonna do like 4 bars of it or some shit, and he just did the whole song. It's kind of
Just
like
all
Andy,
acapella?
It's kind of like Andy Kaufman shit. No,
I just use like Frank Sinatra karaoke versions.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, it's really fun.
That's rad. Yeah.
Well, the reason I got into it was because actually, so I was gonna do it. I got my so I had this grand plan where I was gonna marry people at weddings and as like a Frank Sinatra impersonator, and so I started learning all these Frank Sinatra songs because I had all these friends that were working in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
So I actually got my marriage license certificate. And I was going to like sing Frank Sinatra songs and be like all Frank Sinatra-y.
Yeah.
And then
Drink in hand,
and sing
cigar
like
or
break
something.
out into song and then like break into the like husband and wife type shit.
Yeah, that's great.
But I never finished that idea. But I do still have the license. I
Yeah.
believe
You
should.
do. Good.
from like the
you're
Unitarian
ordained.
Church or whatever.
It's
All right.
crazy, man. You are nuts.
you should.
That's an incredible idea. You're nuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that.
But
in
I
mind.
actually did sing at somebody's wedding, and that's how it all started. My friend Jason Hennessy from Miracles of God, whom you know.
Yeah.
Him and his wife Chloe asked me to sing a Frank Sinatra song, and actually, this song that I'm singing tonight this tour is the song that the first time I'm singing the song I sang at that wedding like 10 years ago or whatever it
Wow.
was.
Okay.
So that's how it all started. That's how the bug started. Is they asked me to sing a song. I Got You Under My Skin.
Yeah.
We got a piano player, and I like walked all through the audience pinching girls' cheeks and sitting on people's laps and singing while this girl played the piano. And it was like I was like, this is what I want to do with life. This is fun, man. Like, I want to do this more.
Yeah.
I still have a dream of being a lounge singer in LA where people are just kind of like ignoring me and eating dinner, and I'm like walking around like singing. I still have a dream of that, but I don't know. We'll see if that ever comes.
Yeah, you should totally do that. That's
It probably wouldn't be too hard to do, but as long as I didn't mind making,
It
the
does sound
money
awesome,
that came
though.
along
Yeah.
with it.
I could see you doing it for sure. So walk me through like you guys are all like, well, I haven't heard your stuff yet, and I'm excited for the show now. Especially, I mean, I always
You weren't
already
before?
was. I already
Beforehand?
was. Okay, yeah. Walk me through like how like you guys like sort of the love affair with words sort of started. Like how did you get involved in writing and stuff like that, and writing.
Who wants to go?
And maybe the even the desire to perform. When did that start for all you guys?
Don't speak up.
Dead
at
air,
once,
man.
guys.
Dead air.
No,
It might
this
be
is not
loaded.
professional.
I don't know.
This is a fun topic. I actually like this topic a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like talking about this too.
I mean, I can talk out of my ass if you want me to go first, because I'm really good at talking out of my
Like
ass.
literally, you could do that.
Yeah, you guys want to hear that?
Get a mic on your ass.
Like-
I'm good at saying stuff before I know what I'm saying. I could say that ever since I was a little kid, as far as words go, I say my first and foremost, I'm a writer in life. That's what I do. I write screenplays, I write jokes, I write lyrics, but I've been writing lyrics longer than anything.
Okay.
And I started out writing parody lyrics. I was really into Weird Al Yankovic when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got older, I got into hip hop when I was in like 4th grade. And then I listened to pretty much hip hop for like 10 years and but then I started doing parody hip hop. Like the first music I ever recorded was like on a tape Ghetto Blaster, and it was just like me like doing parody versions of hip hop songs. I remember we had and they were so stupid. I think I can even remember some of them. I think that I parodied. I mean, I was a kid. Like we did Humpty Hump, and instead it was the Humpty Dance.
Yeah.
And I turned it into Take a Lumpy Dump.
Oh,
It was like, it was really. I was super into the corny, cheesy parodies like Weird Al and Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. Have you ever heard of
yeah.
Bobby Jimmy and the Critters? I was like, as a kid, And it was really funny to me. So that's how I started, was more like jokes and stuff like that. But, you know, and then I started getting into the more serious stuff too. But I don't know. For me, I just love writing because it's so dope. You can just like pull it out of your head and it could become anything. It could become a comic book. It could become a movie. It could become, you know, an idea for a song, an idea for an album. It can become whatever. Yeah. But I love living in that area of is kind of like divining. You know, I love that in that area of divining where you're just like sticking your stick into a hole that you don't know what it is in the sky, and you like pull some shit out and you're like, what is this? Yeah. It just comes to you, you know. I don't know. That's the closest thing I can come. And that's me talking out of my ass.
No, I like that.
So I could buy time for these guys to give you real answers.
I used to draw when I was a kid, right? Like I wanted to be a cartoonist. That was my life dream.
No shit.
I still draw, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do with my life.
Okay.
He's really good at that shit too.
Thank you, man.
He's really good at that shit.
And like, I mean, I liked words and shit. Like I would, you know, my dad kind of would tell jokes and shit. He would do like a little bit of stand up and shit on the side, but he was really funny. So listening to shit that he would say, like he'd say stupid shit. It looks like a booger, but it's not. You know, like just dumb shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like picking up these dumbass little jokes and shit. Like he raised me on like SCTV and like, you know, SNL, like the classic shit and all that.
Yeah, sure.
So I already had an affinity for like I love stand up and I love jokes and shit. So we started rapping fucking around. It was me and a few of my friends, me and Jakai, and like what you said about the Ghetto Blaster. Like we had a Ghetto Blaster with a built-in mic on a table, and we would record like skits, right? Like
totally
dumb commercials, right? Like nothing music related at all. And then one night he just started like beating on the table, making a beat and shit, and we just started freestyling and we recorded it. And then people in the neighborhood heard it and like gassed us up to think it was good or whatever. And we were like, oh, we should try to write. So that's kind of where it started at.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's, man, I love this shit, man. Like what you said about you could just like make up some shit and be like, damn, if I wouldn't have sat down and wrote tonight, I wouldn't have came up with that. Or you could hear someone else say something and it might spark a thought.
Turns into an idea.
Or like, oh, you'll hear a rapper and he'll say something. You think you heard him say something, but he didn't. He say what you thought you heard, and you're just, oh, I could say that now.
Yeah.
So just all kind of shit. Just putting together words and just making ridiculous. It's a fantasy land. Like sometimes you write about real shit. Sometimes you just make up ridiculous like cartoon. You know, just like it's like a cartoon. It's like an instant cartoon. It's kind of what it is. Like you can bring it immediately to life as soon as you say it.
Yeah. How old are you when you're doing that with the Ghetto Blaster?
Shit, I was like 14.
Okay.
4th grade for me. I don't know what age that was, but
9 or 10.
No
or
offense,
like
but you do know what a Ghetto Blaster is.
I
correct?
do, yeah.
All right. Making
Boom
sure you
box.
on
I had
game.
one too.
It's a gun.
Just making sure you up on game.
No, I definitely am.
Okay.
Yeah, I had one myself.
All right.
I played mostly hair metal on it, but you know.
Oh shit.
hair metal.
You had the treble up. You had that with the EQ. Fucking militant.
Yeah.
I started the same way though too. We would make, it was before music. We would just make skits and shit like that. And okay, how old are you, John? Can I ask?
37.
You're 37.
Yeah.
So you might remember this.
Okay.
You might remember this. You remember Get in Shape Girls? Get in Shape Girls. You got the feeling.
Yeah.
It was like this commercial that you could buy. And it was basically a workout set for girls in the 80s that was for little girls. It came with like a mat and like a little pink like boombox and like I don't know.
I remember the commercial anyway. I didn't.
So anyways,
have one or anything.
The very first thing that we ever recorded was me and my friend Jason when we were in 4th grade. Was we had a thing called Get in Shape Boys, and it was like our comedy like radio show podcast or whatever I guess you would say, but it was like
blazing trails back then.
Yeah, we were blazing trails. We were the first podcast, man. But it was just stupid kids off the cuff stuff. That was and we did stuff like that to start off with. Get in Shape Girls.
Yeah. Ness, where's it start for you?
I've been wanting to make music since I was forever.
Yeah.
It's not seriously like.
He did.
He
doesn't think you believe him.
I seen LL Cool J when I was 2 years old rap on Bad, and that's pretty much where it started.
Yeah.
They put me on VHS. I learned I'm bad by the time I was 3.
Awesome.
I knew it by heart. They asked me what I want to be when I grow up with a Kango and a diaper on. I said I want to be a rapper.
So
And I started.
real
Yeah, it
early.
still exists.
Can we see?
It still exists. Yeah, my auntie still has me like performing BBD, Poison and shit. And
one of my favorite songs.
so like performing and stuff. Like I think we all have like a similar story with like how we would record music or whatever, because I had I didn't have the big blaster, but I had, a small little TDK cassette deck. It played one tape, you know what I'm saying? And then I would take another radio and put it close to that radio.
Totally, yep.
And push play for the instrumental to go into one. And I had a fucking like, my mom bought me like a Casio keyboard. And it actually produced like now that I think about it, it actually was like a better sound. Cause like when you would record just straight into like the cassette player, it would be all like muffled and loud and shit. But if you use like another radio and like just sat it just apart just enough so it wouldn't feedback and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can like play with the pause button and like do your own
Push it
fucking
down
dubs
halfway
and shit. Yeah,
Yep.
you can like do your own dubs and shit. And that was
Yep.
like, and I learned that, and I was
Cassette,
like,
you would loop instrumentals?
Yeah,
I did that too.
And we would like, I would like make like little fucking tapes for my mom where I would like play the beats from like the keyboard and shit, and like kind of like like how Wesley Willis would just change the like.
Yeah,
fucking
I did that
tone
too.
of and I
Totally.
would just do that and hit the fill-in
Like the
button
old
and would, like,
Casio
play instrumentals behind
presets.
it and would like just lay on the fill-in button so that way I could
Yeah.
get like the double tap.
Yeah.
And we'd make tapes. Me and my sister, we would make fucking tapes, and she would take them to work and play them for the whole fucking. She was a beautician, and she would play them for like the whole beauty shop or whatever.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And I played piano and shit like growing up because I wanted to know about like what music was about. If I was gonna rap, I was like, from a very young age, I was like, if I'm gonna rap, I need to know more than just rap, so that way I could be really good at it.
Yeah.
Because
That's really advanced thinking.
Yeah, for sure it is.
because I had a mom that pretty much taught me all the time, like, if you're gonna do something, you fucking do it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, like, you just better do it right then and there. Don't lay on it. So I just kind of went forward with that, and everybody in my family, my mom, my dad, they all tell you like that boy been rapping he been making music as long as he's been alive.
It sounds like they're super supportive the whole time.
No? Well, my decisions were pretty fucked up sometimes. So,
Yeah.
of course that happens, growing pains and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Growing up. But they never were like, you should quit,
Yeah.
you should give up or anything like that. No bullshit like that. So that's pretty supportive.
Yeah.
They love what
That's
I'm
always
doing.
important.
Yeah, they love what I'm doing. Like my grandmother tells me, she goes to Spotify, listen to my album every day. Like that's the type of shit means like a lot to me.
Yeah, hell
My
yeah.
grandma listens to my music. Like that's like a fucking accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, for sure.
The old people aren't listening to rap records. You know what I mean? So it's true. Like there's not a lot of people 70 years old that has a 70-year-old grandma that says she made all of her sisters and brothers listen to my album on Spotify.
Yeah.
In a round table. So because I've been doing it forever. And one day I might actually get those VHS tapes, but that's pretty much how I started rapping.
You should YouTube those for sure.
LL Cool J is the reason why I'm a rapper.
I love it. Man.
Yeah, he's great.
And Kumo D's Wild Wild West.
I like Kumo D too.
Yeah.
And they both had a battle, which is crazy that it was both of them.
But you know what? I kind of twisted it. The first rap record I ever learned was Beastie Boys' Girls.
Oh, that's the shit.
Yeah, that's a great.
That's the first record
License
I liked.
Sale.
Ding, ding, ding. But it was the chimes. And then I learned I'm Bad front to back at a super young age. I taught myself to read too.
You taught yourself to read?
Yeah, because I wanted to know how to write so I could write my raps down.
Okay. Do you still play piano too?
A little bit, loosely.
Yeah.
Loosely.
Like on your
I
your
can read
records and
though.
stuff?
Yeah, I can fucking read notes and shit.
You can. Okay.
Yeah, like I know like the abbreviations and shit in like a notebook. You give me some sheet music right now, I can read it for you. You know what I
I
mean?
can't even do that.
I can
Yo,
very slowly.
Here's a side note. Shout or fucking Girls was based on Shout. You make me want to shout.
Word.
Yeah.
That's
and
tight.
then when you listen
Oh
to it.
yeah,
right?
duh. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Do you either one of you play anything like instrument wise?
No, I can't play shit.
No?
I like drums, but I don't have the foot coordination to if I could club it like fucking Dennis Wilson. Like my rhythm's great, you know. Like my grandpa was a Philharmonic drummer.
Yeah.
One of my grandpas was Skip Nelson. He sung with the Glenn Miller Band, and then his dad was a drummer. So
Really?
like rhythm is like like I always am I thinking in terms of drums and shit, and you know. But I can't fucking. I'm not coordinated enough to do all that shit. I'd love to.
It takes some work but I play drums, you know. So like, if I can do it, anyone can.
And I've got a drum kit at the crib. My dad played drums. My sister can play drums. I just haven't really buckled down.
Right.
I think because I'm older, I really don't have the time. You know, when you're like 16 and shit, like you have time to invest and sit around and bullshit. And also like your attention span as you get older, you know, dwindles and shit.
Yeah.
So I would love to though. I'd love to play guitar too. I've got guitars, but I like the way you felt. I want to know how to make my own shit. You know, like make songs.
Yeah.
I want to know all the chords so I can put together crazy chord combinations. And shit.
I was one of those kids that was like, you know, what's a chorus mean? You know, I want to know the meaning of that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to apply it to a record to see if it makes sense. Or what's a bridge? You know, what's staccato? You know,
you want to know the terminology.
Yeah, like what does all this mean? Yeah. So that way when I go into making a rap record, you know, it could mean something. You know, it could sound like something, like have a body, right? You know? And then like fucking Outkast came out, and that just like blew my fucking top. I was
You were
like,
kidding there.
it was mostly like West Coast gangster music though, like, you know, Ice Cube, that was my shit, DJ Quick. And then I got into, you know, East Coast rap. I was in a group when I was a kid. We called ourselves the Lunatics, and then we changed our name to
With an X?
Nah, you
With
know
three
what?
X's.
After Nelly, did you like change it after Nelly's shit came out or what?
Nah, well, we changed it. We was called Glass City, and that was the name of Toledo. And we called ourselves Glass City, and we were actually pretty dope, man. Like we had like really grown ass raps, like grown up raps at a super young age. Like, the first like me and my cousin, we used to freestyle and we would call ourselves the Serial Killers, and we spelt it like cereal. And we wanted to take a picture where like and make a bunch of like photocopies of the picture of us, like me, him, and my cousin Nick.
Put it on a cereal box.
Yeah, like sitting at a table with each with a different piece of, like a box of cereal, and we, like eating the cereal and call ourselves Serial Killers and shit. And that shit was crazy. And we were actually, we were fucking talking about that. Like, and you were like, we should come up with a group and call ourselves the Serial Spillers. And then, you was like, me, you, and Keith, and we should call ourselves the Serial Spillers. And I was like, what about the Serial Killers? And spell it like cereal. It was like a loose conversation. But, that shit's funny. And I used to rap to like any tape I could find. Like, I rapped to like the Usher's Think of You joint. Like, that's the first song Usher ever came out with when like Puffy was still producing him. It was only tape my mom had that had an instrumental on it. So we would take it, and I wrote a song called Ghetto Birds, and we were talking about doing drive-bys and shit.
To an Usher beat.
Ghetto Birds is a great name.
Yeah, it was
great.
I still remember that rap.
Yo, that's crazy that you did that. Like, I had a karaoke machine, and I would we do similar shit. Like, all right, the blank tape with the instrumental, and then take that tape, and then like listening to Redman, what the album, I listened to how he was like leaving spaces and then filling in, like multi-tracking and shit.
Yeah.
So I took the instrumental with the blank tape, then recorded lines but left some lines out and shit, then put that tape in there, and then put the blank tape in there, and then just fill in the spaces. But it'd be all airy and shit. It'd be like,
By the time I got in high school,
cool, though.
By the time I got in high school,
Yeah.
I was advanced with my shit though. Like what I considered high school advanced. I had got tired of that whole fucking setup. So my mom, the home stereo system she had like a big ass home system. Yeah. She bought a new one, gave me the old one. So I had like 4 fucking four floors and a sub with, you know, it was like a home theater in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I plugged I couldn't afford a mic. I couldn't afford the drum machines. Yeah, so I took the headphones and hung it over the coat rack, and I would be in my room like recording raps. And I think I ripped out every fucking album cover and used to tape it to my wall and shit. Coming out of like Vibe and Double XL and Source, and before the Source got whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
rap
that was
pages.
that was like
that
when
shit.
it was extra fun. You used to just do it because you like really love to do it because before you like try to make it a business. And it's still hella fun now.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
It's fun.
Zach, you you started in like punk bands and stuff, right? Before you got into
Yeah,
hip-hop?
I taught myself to play a lot of instruments. I mean, I would say that I mean I don't know how to do anything like professionally. I mean, maybe professionally is not the word, but I'm not trained in any sort of way.
Right.
I train myself in everything.
Sort of a loose jack of all trades.
Yeah, but I have played I played drums and bass and guitar in a lot of bands, and I play a lot of guitar in Coolzey now live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played like drums I played in a lot of Iowa bands. Like I played drums in Liberty Leg for a while. I don't know if
Liberty
you knew
Leg,
that.
that's the one I was trying to think of earlier.
I played
That's a great
drums.
band. Or
I
it was a great band.
played bass for Ed Gray for a while.
Okay.
I played I played bass on tour with Lipstick Homicide once. I played bass with Sharing Mass Graves for a little while, punk rock band that was based out of Iowa, and I played drums and guitar in a band called Bottom Feeder and The Old Man, and I played but I started playing guitar when I was 19 years old. I thought that I was like too late, but I just didn't care. I found my dad had an old acoustic guitar that had been sitting around the house our whole life, and I just picked it up and I like restrung it and I like brought it on tour with us. Or I mean, I brought it on tour. Everything's tour now.
Yeah.
Vacation with us up to Minnesota, and I learned this finger picking pattern from watching Beck on 120 Minutes. There was this interview where I don't know. This is one of the most amazing moments in MTV. I think.
I think I know.
You remember? We remember in 120 Minutes how they used to get guest hosts.
Yeah.
Once Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth was hosting 120 Minutes, and Beck was the first guest, and Mike D from the Beastie Boys was the next guest. And then they ended up having a fucking noise jam.
Yeah.
And but it started off with Beck playing a version of Pain No Mind where he was like being really rebellious and stuff, and like Thurston Moore would ask him a question, and as a response, he would take off his shoe and throw it at the wall.
Fuck yeah. Okay, I was just gonna say, was this the shoe interview?
Yeah, and then
I remember that.
And then he played a version of Pain No Mind where he just like made up new lyrics, and just like went all over the place. But they close up on his finger picking, and that's how it all started for me. Is I wanted to learn how to play guitar. I just kept rewinding. I've VHS taped it off, and I just kept rewinding. This had to have been before '95 because I graduated in '95, and I stopped watching TV when I went to college.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I just watched it over and over again, and then I went on vacation with my family, and I just kept doing this finger picking pattern over and over and over again.
Cool.
And like that's how I've always taught myself shit. Like when I taught myself to play drums, and I consider myself a pretty decent drummer.
Yeah.
I taught myself to play drums just by hitting the desk with pens in class. Like that's how I learned independence of limbs. Is like I just like knew I saw that there was like this independence of limbs thing happening.
Yeah.
And I've never learned things the right way. I feel like I always just learn them myself. I'm like I'll learn something, and then 10 years later I'll learn out what it was called that I learned, even though I know it really well then, And I mean that's how it's always been for me. So that's why I hesitate to say like, that I'm really because I'm not trained in any way.
Yeah.
But I can like hold my own. Like I can't like rip guitar solos or anything like that. But
No, but you played a lot of guitar on.
I'm a writer.
Hit Factory, right, from last year.
I did, and I have been teaching myself to solo, but I mostly write my stuff. See, that's my whole thing is I'm a writer.
Yeah. Totally.
Like that's why I'm kind of like a little jealous of like Pete's ability to freestyle and stuff like that, and people that can just like do. Because I'm a writer, like I plan shit out, I mean, I can do off the cuff stuff, but to do it well, like I don't know, I can't freestyle very well because I don't care enough to do it. I just would go into nonsense and start making up words or something. Yeah. Or just start.
That's fun though. Like you know what? I used to freestyle a lot when I was younger, right? And I used to be. I was better because I had more of a vocabulary. I didn't smoke weed yet. So, like, to me, like, some people say weed helps them. Weed fucks me up. Like, it blocks my shit. You know how, in conversation, you'll be talking to somebody and you're high and you'll be like, So that happens while I'm freestyling. I can't pick the words and shit. But I just recently started freestyling again, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like, I don't go up there and want to freestyle. I fucking forget my lyrics and then have to not like be embarrassed. So it's a fear thing. It's like I'm backed up into a wall. Yeah, I have no choice. Then I'm like, well, and sometimes the shit works,
but
sometimes it doesn't.
However it comes about, you're good at it. And, it's like to be able to.
This motherfucker can freestyle, man. Yo, when I met you, Ness is who I'm talking about. When I met you, when we first started hanging out, I wasn't really freestyling like that at that point for whatever reason. I don't know. I just got rusty as hell. But I remember one night we were all getting high, and it was like you, Kevin, and someone else at your old place, and you were sitting on the couch just going and going and going and going and going and going.
Oh yeah, well, that was a good night.
He really can freestyle.
Oh yeah, that was a good night. We had a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
I mean, the vibe was real like good. Rap isn't just like the ability. To me, it's like a feeling and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like if you just don't feel it, I just won't. If I don't feel it, I just won't do it. But
yeah.
I guess I can. Like, it's fun though, I like cracking jokes and shit when freestyling and like pointing people out and saying like, not insulting people, but just kind of like
acknowledging them so they know you're freestyling.
like know they're there. Yeah,
for sure.
Let people know that you're just
that shit is
a party.
Fascinating to me. I can't I think it's amazing. Like a good freestyle, and I've seen you battle before, and it's unreal. Like,
thank you, man.
I'm excited to.
Have you seen his new one against Danny Myers? The Shredder versus
oh no shit.
Yeah, Raphael from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
We did a Halloween thing. You know who Disaster is?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a friend of mine and shit. He hit me up basically. I met like all those guys when I was living out in the Bay for a little bit, like a few years ago. So he hits me up and he's like, yo, we're doing this event, this Halloween battle where we're all in costumes. So whoever you are as your character is who they're battling.
You have to battle as them.
They can't, I'm not Pete, I'm not Copywrite. You can't talk about this, that. You talk about me as Shredder and how I died in a garbage truck and just whatever, So, and he's Raphael. So I just it was dope, man. Like, it was a cool ass night. It was really well recepted. Fucking Fat Lip from the Far Side showed up. It was on Hollywood Boulevard in LA.
Okay.
On Halloween night, everybody had ill ass costumes.
And that's up on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, it's got like I want to say like it's been out for like maybe a little less than a month. It's got like 40,000 views, and then it got like 600,000 or 700,000 on Facebook.
Awesome.
So
I gotta check that out.
I want to do it more, man. I like it. That's how I grew up, like battling, street battles, not panels with beats and shit, like just rapping on a corner or wherever at the mall, and then people starting to gather around and shit. And we used to go to this open mic called Groove Shack.
In Columbus?
Yeah, and it was a record store, but they had open mic. And we had like public access TV. So the first time we saw it, me and Camus, rest in peace, from Megahertz, we saw it on TV and we were like, what the fuck is this? Like we thought it was from New York or something because the rappers were good. So we went up there and just like started getting addicted to going to open mics and just kind of got out of our shell and started like really battling. Like before that, I really didn't battle at all. I would like kick a verse, but I wasn't going against opponents and shit,
Yeah.
So this shit got me, I got seasoned over the years. And yeah, dude, I want to go do more battles, man. That shit is real fun. Shit is real fucking fun. It's if you like kicking acapella lyrics, like being a writer, it's fun as fuck to kick acapella lyrics. It's the basis of everything, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like hear my words. My words.
You don't have to really have a rhythm either. When it's
it's I guess it's like stream of consciousness writing, kind of. Like I used to do that. Like I would wake up and just like write a whole page or a couple pages of just total nonsense, which is really fun to do.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I'm not saying I don't freestyle. I like to freestyle every once in a while.
You can freestyle,
but it takes me really long to get into it. Yeah, I mean, it takes me a very special moment to want to do it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like you were talking. I feel like what you were talking about.
It's got to be the feeling. But by definition of Big Daddy Kane, a freestyle is just having some rhymes on deck.
Exclusive
Yeah,
shit.
It's not necessarily that you have to talk about what's going off the top of your head.
It's not spur of the moment.
Which
all,
can
like,
exactly.
can get annoying.
I respect the
afterwards.
boom bap. You know, I do. I love
yeah.
the culture. Like, I'm part of that. I make that shit. I just make music. I'm art.
Yeah.
But Big Daddy Kane said it.
No, that's real though. That's real.
So no, it's not technically. You know, people want to be super technical. I just want to put that out there. I don't believe in that shit. Like, you don't have to be the person that comes to the cipher doing what we do. Like, you just have to be dope.
I mean, there's only so many words, the same way that there's only so many chords
12,
on a guitar.
12. Yeah, no, that's some shit. Like, yeah, there's only 26 letters. Like, let's see, what do you do with these? It's all level playing field. Like, what do you do with your 26 letters? What do you do with your 26 letters? And it's like, it's interesting as hell. It's like if you gave an architect like the materials and said, "Look, what building are you going to build?" You know,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Did another with the same one.
Yeah.
But like, honestly though, the freestyle shit's cool, but I'd rather hear what somebody writes because it's well thought out and prepared. Like Rakim never went off the top. You know what I mean?
No.
And I don't care if you can or can't.
But
like,
a guru would, though.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, or a Common would freestyle, or
Common can freestyle his ass off.
or Snoop would even
Snoop could freestyle his
freestyled
ass
a lot of
off.
Snoop freestyled a lot
Doggy
of hit
style.
records.
If you listen to, I had the 12-inch of Nothing But a G Thing, and there's like a 10-minute version of Nothing But a G Thing that sounds to me like they just took that and edited it to make the actual Nothing But a G Thing because it has all the lyrics.
I gotta find that.
And it's like, it sounds like they just cut the parts that flowed the best into each other, you know? And it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of awesome, you know?
Snoop freestyled the Shiznit. I mean, you could clearly
That's what
tell.
it is. You know what? That's
It's like-
that's the
'cause
one
like-
I was thinking
That's
about.
my-
it.
what's
that's my
crazy
favorite Snoop
is he's
song.
saying shit. He's saying shit that no one would write down.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say like Biz Mark he sparked these. I mean like.
Yeah.
You could tell he's saying clutch shit like freestyle shit, you know, but he was so fucking good. Like I remember he was on Arsenio Hall way back in the day.
Oh my God, he killed that.
Yes.
I
I remember
remember
that,
He
yeah.
wore the Toronto Maple
Yeah.
Leafs jersey. I never
Bro.
forget that footage.
Yeah, I saw that
His
shit too.
freestyle was fucking insane.
I was
he
a
could
super
still
kid. He
freestyle.
did Lottie Dottie that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could still freestyle.
Slick Rick was his favorite rapper. So, I mean, naturally, like, you know, when you hear stuff like that, you know, like, I learned how to pinpoint, like I said, you pinpoint, like, the artist, you know what I mean? When you hear somebody like Snoop say something like, Slick Rick is his favorite rapper, like, naturally, that would probably mean that he's really great at being able to freestyle records, you know?
Yeah.
Because Slick Rick is a person that can freestyle records. Generally, your inspirations are more than likely what you turn out to be, even if it doesn't sound the same, you know.
What do you think
You kind of adopt a method and learn how to work it out on your own.
Do you know if
yeah.
Buckshot freestyled most of Enter the Stage?
He freestyled a lot of
It seems like it, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it could be.
And I love that record so much.
I wouldn't be
That's
surprised.
amazing.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
It just sounds like freestyle, and I'm like, that is the type of thing where I'm like, if that's mostly freestyle, then that is the shit to me. You know, like I wish I could. That's like my buddy Seth, who plays guitar on a lot of my records, who does like the really ripping guitar solos. Like I can do like a Jay Mascis type guitar solo or the droney type shit, but I can't do like the really shredding shit. You know, my friend Seth Owen, who was in The Old Man, and I love his guitar playing. He is a classically trained guitar player, but he's like a genius also. He can speak like 5 languages and reads like voraciously and that type of shit, you know?
Yeah.
But he's just one of those dudes who can just shred, you know? And that's the kind of the way I feel about really good freestylers like Copy and stuff is like, it's like I feel they're very similar. People who can do guitar solos really well, and people who can freestyle really well.
Yeah, for sure. It's
like
a craft.
It's like a version of off the cuffedness that is like, and there's the thing about it is so few people can do it very well at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about it, you know, is like a lot of people can write something that sounds good and catchy and still be, in general, still maybe kind of be mediocre overall with their catalog.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people, very few people can just off the cuff shred like on a guitar or freestyle and have it be interesting at all to me personally.
Yo, the crazy shit is I've got friends that can freestyle their ass off. My boy
I know
but
a
cannot
guy-
write their
Yeah.
songs or like whatever. But
I
their
know a guy
freestyles
that-
are amazing and sound
That
written.
literally should
Really?
probably, yeah.
He kills me in free like P shit. His shit sounds written and it's all
PDMC is a rapper that's
crazy.
out of Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
He's in Columbus. on and off. But when I tell you that, like, this, first of all, he's good on both sides of the board. You know, his rhymes are good. But he's the type of freestyler where when he gets to rapping, you will definitely go, you should probably just do all of your records like this.
Right,
you know, it's not that what you're doing isn't good. This, though, is a whole nother level of, like, consciousness that you're... No, seriously. It's like
really,
a totally
really
different level of
written,
consciousness.
And it's
I've never
worded
heard a person ever do that.
But like here's the tricky part sometimes. It's tricky at all, especially at first, to capture the lightning pretty much. Like, okay, you can freestyle good. Transfer that on the paper. But what happens is when you're freestyling, it's energy. You're standing up, you're looking around, you're doing all kind of shit.
Yeah,
when you're writing, you're sitting on a fucking couch or whatever with a goddamn piece of paper and it's not exciting. You know what I mean? So you're not really... It's not fun. You're not writing down fun shit. You know, you got to get yourself in the right mindset to just say, okay, I just need to walk around or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I think that's why I like to write. I like to write in public, where I like to write at bars and coffee shops while there's noise going on, or if other people are like in the room doing their own shit and like making noise, chaos.
Yeah, I could see that.
Chaos brings the best writing out of me.
Kiosk writing it.
Basically, there's only one
kiosk.
There's one kiosk that I write everything on, and I'm running out of room. So when I run out of room on the kiosk, I'm done. That's like the end of my career.
But I like it both. Sometimes I like to write on alone if it's some shit that I really, need to buckle down and like focus on and put a bunch of shit together. And sometimes I like to write. I like other people. I like to be around energy and shit. But but someplace like you said, a coffee shop where no one's gonna come talk to me, where I don't know anybody. I didn't go there with somebody.
Yeah.
I like to write on airplanes. Sometimes I like to write in cars.
Yeah.
Cars. I write a lot while I'm driving.
Yeah, the car is the car is kind of like a shrine.
Yeah.
For
The airplane's dope because you
No, I
get
can see
drunk
that.
and you're way separated from everything. Next time you fly, write on the airplane.
I never write without music though.
Yeah.
Like
I actually write
never,
on the airplane.
Yeah, no,
On the
on it. I'll take a Sharpie.
Like the Beastie Boys.
Like you'll listen to somebody
Something like
else's
that.
words while you're writing your own.
You know what? I have wrote records to like songs that I really like Chunky Fire by Outkast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have an instrumental to it, couldn't find it, so I wrote an entire song over there.
I used
Nice. Okay.
You know what I'm
I've done
saying?
that too. I used to
But
write.
I won't write without music. Ever.
Okay.
I've wrote without music. I've written over people's shits. But it would be like if it's like a song like where somebody's killing it, like say like a posse cut or some shit. I'll write and I'm trying to make. I'll write until I feel like what I'm writing is like competing with what they're doing or better. You know what I'm saying? Like okay, but I could tune them out completely. But I also like writing to another MC who's destroying it because then I get, you know what I mean? It's like competition, even though they're not there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, listen, guys, I could talk about this for hours more, but I know I got to get you guys to the show.
Let's do it again.
Fuck yeah. I would love that. Where online can people listening to this find your shit?
I have everything at coolzey.net. Like, basically Coolzey.net is a blog I have, but on the side column is like links to everything. Like, so if you like Bandcamp, there's a link to Bandcamp. If you like freaking Friendster, there's a link to Friendster. Maybe not.
Still
yet.
have a Friendster?
No, but there will be.
I forgot about Friendster.
Black Planet still.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my God, you missed out.
But anyways, like that's pretty much me. Coolzey.net. You can find everything, or Google, or I like to say, Google me, dog.
Just don't Google the gays.
Just don't Google me in
Gay
conjunction
porn, Coolzey.
with gay sex.
Okay, and you're on social media, Facebook, Twitter.
Oh yeah, like I said, if you go to this Coolzey.net and you look at the left-hand column, there's
Links to all
Facebook,
that shit.
MySpace, like everything. Like I have a MySpace link up there for real. Like I have every link, like RDO, like Rhapsody, Spotify,
You got a WordPress?
Deezer,
WordPress, yeah.
everything.
An Angel Fire page.
You still check when's the last time you logged into your MySpace?
I actually
Angel
have
Fire.
recently, and it was kind of cool. Like Justin Timberlake is making some progress with that shit.
Say
You know,
hit-
it's kind of cool.
Hit Coolzey on LinkedIn.
Yeah, on
LinkedIn, I
LinkedIn.
don't have. Link is the one. Dude, I have a
You have an
friend.
LO?
I have a friend who had sent a cease and desist order to LinkedIn and to stop getting notifications from that. 'Cause
Really?
you know how it's like infamously hard once you want to quit LinkedIn, you can't. Like they just
Like crack.
No, I've never started.
No,
one,
they
so I
don't.
know.
They just. I like joined it once and I never used it, and then they just keep sending you notifications and you
Oh
can't
my
get
God.
out of it.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I never used
And
it.
then you can't get out of it. You're like, you quit, and they're
It's
like,
like the
no,
mafia.
you can't quit, and you're like, what?
You're LinkedIn.
My friend Brandy in LA told me she actually like somehow sent like a cease and desist to them and it was the only way that they could. I think that's the case. She could probably correct me,
wild.
but
Can't break the chain, bruh.
Copy
That's
your
me.
shit. Where
I
is
don't
that?
have I don't have a website anymore, man. I stopped fucking with them because the guy was a piece of shit. So I just said, "Fuck it." I'm
Your
not doing it.
webmaster?
My webmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
Well,
have,
first and foremost, I want it to be said that you should just buy their shit anyway. All three of these guys, because whatever. But if you want to sample it,
yeah. If you want to sample it, go to YouTube. Check
YouTube,
it out.
okay.
YouTube. Go to Spotify. Go to iTunes. All that shit.
you don't have a Bandcamp or anything.
I got a Bandcamp. Yeah, it's just copyright / whatever the fuck. And
Got
then
it, Bandcamp.
I'm on Twitter, copyright 614. My old account got hacked. So
Yeah, I just found you on there a couple of days ago. I'm like, that's not because I heard you on a different podcast saying just at copyright. I'm like,
yeah.
that's not right.
My shit got hacked. You know what happened? Somebody sent me an email and they were like, "We're gonna verify you," because I've been wanting to get verified on Twitter for a grip. I don't know why the fuck I give a shit, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, "All right, yeah," and I gave them this info and shit, and like my shit got hacked. So that's what happens when you want fame and shit. And you want shit for the wrong
All
reasons.
you want to do is get verified.
All I wanted was that
that's
check.
not.
So
It's
I wanted
legit,
to look like
dude.
I want to look like a big shot. I want that check next to my name.
I just got verified on Facebook, and I'm glad. It makes me scared that I could have got hacked.
Instagram though, I'm on Instagram more than Twitter. Copyright _
Okay.
And I'm
Copy-
Capital Rapital on both Instagram and Twitter. CAPITAL.
What about your Tinder? What's your name on Tinder?
Zachary?
He's on Tinder. Wait.
You on
Ness, what about you?
Backpage?
You on social media?
Yeah, I have an album out called Stupid Genius. Came out in May.
Okay.
It's
Digitally, is it available?
Yes, Spotify, iTunes.
Electronic.
It's on Tidal.
Right.
It's on Apple Music. Beats
Okay.
by Dre, even though that's ending in like a couple weeks.
Physical copies available?
Yes, you can get them off of execgang.com. You can go there. I have a I have a SoundCloud at NES Wordz, NES Wordz with a Z.
Okay.
That's all different music on the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
There's no replicated songs on there. It's like 30. And then I have projects on Audio Mac as well. That's all different music. Just type in NES Wordz, NES Wordz with a Z. And I'm on Twitter and Facebook as the same name.
Okay.
So everything's pretty much standard name.
All right. Well, sweet. Thanks
Google
again,
us.
fellas, for coming.
Do your Googles,
doing
man.
this thing.
Do your Googles. You
Yeah.
should have done
Thanks
your
so much,
Googles before
John.
we got here, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Thanks so much for having us. man. Appreciate
This is gonna air probably next week or whatever.
Cool.
So
Send
like
us links.
tonight's show, like if you're listening to this now, you're too late. But
We'll pump it.
How long are you on tour?
links.
Till the 12th.
to the 12th.
Yeah.
So do you have any dates you want to plug real quick before we end this?
Well, let's. I guess I want to plug next month because we're gonna be wrapping up by the time you air this, probably.
Yeah.
But next month, same lineup. It's got when your tour is called Meme. When your tour is called #Meme.
Yeah.
It's Copyright headlining, and then me and Ness, and we will be out in the West. And that's going to be from January 14th to the 24th.
Okay.
We're doing Reno. We're doing Albuquerque. We're doing Santa Fe. We've got Phoenix booked. We've got Flagstaff almost booked. And we're doing Castro City in the Bay. And then we're going to probably sprinkle a couple more dates in there.
Okay.
But yeah, so that we will have that. It'll all be online, but look for January 14th to the 24th on the Southwest, the same lineup.
Awesome. Yeah, on all that social media that we just heard plugged.
Yes.
All right.
West, y'all.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was a nice surprise. NES Wordz joining us on that interview as well. I didn't actually know he was going to be here until he showed up. So that was a good time. It was great meeting him and Copywrite, and of course, hanging out with Coolzey is always a pleasure. So thanks again, fellas, for making time for the show. Music Series 10 I said earlier in the show that it was going to be on the 29th of December, when in fact it's going to be on the 29th of January. So don't make plans for December 29th. Please keep in mind that it's on January 29th. And that's going to feature Tyranny is Tyranny from Madison, Wisconsin, as well as Snuff Queen from right here in Dubuque. And as I've been recording this show, Young Indian from right here in Dubuque has been added to the show. So, definitely a show not to miss. Again, that's January 29th, not December. And now it looks like we're through the In Harmony shows, at least from now until the end of the year. So look for season 2 of In Harmony to drop on MC22 if you watch Mediacom television in Dubuque. Otherwise, we'll have those up on YouTube eventually too. So just keep your eyes posted and subscribe to the show, because we got plenty more guests coming up in the coming months in early 2013. I just really appreciate everybody continuing to tune into the show. It means a lot. So until next time, I'm Jon Eagle. Thanks.